Welcome to Agape Christian Worship Center, Albany, Georgia. Join us for today's broadcast, which is already in session.
I really just want to talk about, and I'm going to give you the topic now. I want to talk about a new day, but I want to do a subtopic, how to experience breakthroughs and keep the momentum. How to experience breakthroughs in this new day and keep the momentum. As we get started, 80% of New Year resolutions fail by February, according to U.S. News. 80% fail by February. You got one workout in the gym, and that's it. I believe, now listen to this, I believe, Michael Odom, I believe it's because people start out excited and start fast with a psychological picture of having a new start, but fail to comprehend the requirements and commitment to maintain the resolution. I believe people are excited about a fresh start. They're excited about doing something all over again or have another chance, but we fail to realize or comprehend the requirements to maintain the momentum. That's just me. However, as we, Agape, declare our theme this year, it's a new day, I want to safeguard us from starting fast and not finishing. I want to safeguard us from starting fast and not finishing. How many of you know that every year, there's a slogan, there's a theme, and everybody's celebrating and excited? I don't want to spoil the party this morning, but I do want to help us to slow down a little bit and so we can build with some substance. Amen? Right. Because I'm looking for a marathon. I don't want to sprint this year. I don't want to run so fast that when we get to a half a mile, we're gasping out of breath already. Yeah. I don't want to go in and we're excited and we're doing all kinds of things. Then I look up, nobody's around because they're burnt out already, burnt out in the first quarter. No. We have a mission from God, and we've got to use some wisdom to learn how to navigate throughout this whole entire year. Amen. So this morning, this message is to help safeguard us from moving so fast and not counting up the costs. So when we run into some things, we're not going to fizzle out just like the world. All right? Yes. We good this morning? Yes. So to our internet viewers, I'm going to give us 3 critical points that will help us experience breakthroughs and keep the momentum. I want us to grab hold to these 3 simple points this morning. They're simple but critical. I want us to hold on to this and remember this throughout this month, how we're going to experience breakthroughs and keep the momentum. Is that okay? Yes. All right, so turn with me to Joshua chapter 3. I'll be talking through chapter 3, chapter 5, chapter 6, and chapter 7. Okay, if I don't go over all the passages, that's fine, but I'm giving you some references you can go back and look at. I'll be going over chapter 3, 5, 6, and 7. All right, so let's talk about this background here. So chapter 3, Joshua and the children of Israel. The inheritance was promised from generation to generation. When Joshua came on the scene, this is when God gave Joshua the assignment. This was not the first time that God told the children of Israel that they was going to go and conquer the promised land. They was going to walk into a promised land. This promise that God gave the children of Israel was from generation to generation, all the way down back towards Abraham. Yes. To get to the promise, in this scene, to get to the promise, they went to the point where they traveled, the story, so many years through the wilderness. They went through a few leaderships, and now they wind up with Joshua. And to get to the promise, of all these years, of all the build-up, they finally got to the point where they could see the blessing. Finally got to the point where they could see what God has for them. Right. Finally got to the point where they could see the breakthrough. Right. To get to a river. To get to the promise, they had to go and get across the Jordan River. Yes, sir. It's funny because at that particular time when the children of Israel went to the banks of the Jordan River, the study says that the rivers were flooded. It wasn't normal, it was flooded. And I said, wow, that is similar to what we go through sometimes. You know, the Jordan River represents obstacles. Right. It represents problems. And it seems as though that as we are going towards our destiny, our purpose, we're running to some rivers. And it's at the moment where we're about to get a major breakthrough. It seems like we go through major troubles. The river is flooded abnormally. I'm going through tremendously. What is happening? Anybody took a pause and said, God, what in the world is happening in my life right now?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I just came from church, and the apostle, the prophet, they laid hands on me, they spit over me, and they said we're going to do some great things. And I come home to a phone call, the stress phone call. And it seems like there's more trouble than I ever experienced before. We just came out of New Year's celebration. We had a great time. We were blowing the little horn. We had a cake. We cut it. And we just lost a loved one. Anybody seen that before? See, at this point, I want to share it with you. At this point, the Israelites, they wasn't running from the enemy. They were running towards the enemy. See, on the Red Sea journey, you know, they was running from the enemy. But we see in this journey, they were running towards the enemy. I want to say this season, in this moment, in this new day, is that we're not going to run from the enemy. We're going to run towards the enemy. Matter of fact, I'm so bold to say is that we're going to take back all the stuff that belongs to us. It may be an obstacle in a way. It may be a river. It may be some problems. But boldly we're saying in this new day, I don't know about you, but we're going over and we're going to cross over and take our possession. We're going to take some stuff. Matter of fact, in this new day, we're going to kick the devil out of and off of everything that belongs to us. Matter of fact, let's pause for a moment and just tell somebody I'm going to kick the devil out of everything that belongs to me. I don't know what it may be, but everything. I'm going to kick him out. It's mine. I'm going to get it this year. I'm going to have it this year. I may experience some rivers this year, but guess what? I'm believing God. I'm going to get my stuff this year. We need to wake up this morning. Come on, we're gonna get it this year. What you've been believing God for, you want to get it this year. I want to help you get some breakthroughs this morning because we're going to get our stuff. We're crossing over and we're going to get everything that He promised us this year. This year. This year. Kick them out of everything that belongs to me. Get out. Kick them out. I'm trying to slow down because I want to go so fast this morning. But I want us to hear what we're trying to share. So how are we going to do this? In this new day, it's going to require, number one, in this new day, it's going to require exercising faith. It's going to require exercising your faith. Joshua 3:3. I won't read it, but you can look over it. But this year, in this season, to maintain or to experience breakthrough and maintain our momentum is going to require for you and I to exercise our faith. I know it's simple, but guess what? A lot of times we fail right there. Yes, sir. We fail right there. Yeah. This year, we're going to exercise our faith. Joshua and the people have never been this way before. Can you imagine 3 million people standing on the riverbank? and I know at least one of them had to say, what Joshua been doing? And the leaders, we're standing right here on the river. How are we going to get across? They done lost their mind. I know some of you are saying, Apostle, you done lost your mind. We don't have 2,000 people in this church. You act like we're a mega church. You're trying to get on every outlet possible. You're sending out preachers and leaders to go and cast out devils and start churches. Well, you done lost your mind. You're trying to get into the business arena, the marketplace. You're raising up 19 or 20 entrepreneurs in this house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're talking about franchising businesses and publications. You know, you're talking about influencing the government. Yeah. You're sitting at the table with decisions. You done lost your mind. Yes, sir. You only have a handful of people. How are you going to do all that stuff? Oh, my God. You're going to deal with some of the issues that's in this city. Yes. You're going to raise up pioneers and breakthrough believers, send them out to preach the gospel. Yes. Yes. You done, tell somebody, you done lost your mind. I know somebody has said, Joshua lost his mind. How are we going to get over? I don't see it. And that's okay. We need people like that in the congregation. So when God do show himself strong, my God, boy, those who say, I don't see it, can begin to repent and say, my God is a good God. I don't see it. Can you imagine they're at the river banks and it's flooded even more? And they're trying to figure out how are we going to go across. I want to say this morning is that they needed a breakthrough to keep moving. And for you and I to experience a new day this morning or this season is that we're going to experience some breakthroughs and we're going to talk about how to keep moving. And so number one, the children of Israel, they needed to exercise faith. Yeah. I want to say for you too, church, since we've never been this way before, we need to exercise faith. Yes. Amen. Not the name it and claim it movement, but exercise your faith as you follow the covenant. Yes. Listen to me. We need to exercise faith as we follow the covenant. Not the name it and claim it, grab it and blab it and grab it. No. We're exercising faith as we're following the covenant. No matter what river we're going to face, we must exercise faith so we can get to what God has for us in this season. Let me share some with you. One of the translations is the easy to read version. I like how I say it here. It's Joshua 3:3. Listen, it says, they gave orders to the people. When you see the Levites, the priests, carrying the box of the agreement of the Lord, your God, follow them. The box of agreement. The Lord made an agreement with us. And just follow his promises. Exercise your faith in regards to his agreement, church. As we're shifting to this new season, we need to follow the box of agreement. You may say, well, Pastor, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, God made some promises to you. Can I help you with some of those promises? Listen, when you're facing this moment where you need a breakthrough, you need to always remember that I got to exercise my faith. I don't care what it looks like. I need to exercise my faith as I follow the box of agreement. God, if you said it, oh my God, it's going to happen. You got to follow the box of agreement. Now, see, the problem is that we follow and deviate. But see, if we follow the box of agreement, follow his promises, then he's going to do whatever it takes to get us to cross us over. If we follow the box of agreement. Let me give you some of the agreements, some of the promises. I will restore health to you. Jeremiah 3:17. He said, you shall have power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you. Acts 1:8. Listen to this. The Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in all you undertake. If you believe, you will see the glory of the Lord. Here's another one. The Lord watches over all who love him. There are so many promises that he's giving you. There's some general promises and there's some individual promises. But I want to hone in this is that you must exercise your faith during the moments when you run into the river. Exercise your faith to break through. Exercise your faith to maintain the momentum. It is your winning season. Yes, it is. Let me share this with you. Joshua 5:12. The manna stopped the day after they ate food from the promised land. There was no longer any manna for the Israelites. But that year, they ate the produce of the land. That's Joshua 1:12. Provision for the next level. See, God gave the people manna until they crossed over and ate from the land. The manna stopped. We're still talking about exercising faith. God gave them a different provision. as they crossed over. In this hour, understand that God will provide. Just exercise your faith. See, some of you, I want to pause and prophesy to somebody right now. Some of you have hesitated last year because you didn't know where the provision will come from. But in this season, son, in this hour of the new day, we need to realize, exercise our faith, knowing that God will provide for the next level. Yes. 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 See, one of the things that if the devil could stop us, he would stop us by getting us to doubt that God's going to provide on the next level. Right. That's right. He would stop us from crossing over because we can't see our way through it. But this year, we're going to exercise faith like we've never experienced before. Because, see, when one provision dries up, God will release something else. See, when the manna stops, oh my God. See, don't put your eyes on provision. That messes you up all the time. But put your eyes on the one who sent you. So get to that next level, you got to leave some comforts. To get to that next place, you got to let go some things. To get where God's trying to take you, you have to look beyond the waters. Oh, my Lord. And you can't rely on your 9 to 5. That's right. That's right. You can't rely on your bank accounts. That's right. See, to one, I believe some of us are not going and doing great exploits because we're relying on the manna. We're relying on what we're used to having. And God said, I'm trying to take you to the next level. You need to exercise faith. Because at the next level, you don't need manna. The next level, you're going to eat the fruit of your labor. You're going to eat from your calling, eat from your anointing, eat from the destiny I've given you, eat from your promised land. But see, some of us can't get to the promised land because we can't let go of the handicap. God says if you could see the next place, you're going to be able to eat from that promised land. But right now, the river is just overshadowing us. The river is so consuming in our mind. We're doubting at the banks. Don't you know the banks was a great sign of transition? The banks, when things seem to be rough and boisterous and bigger than we can handle, this is when God shows up. Don't you know that we got to elevate our faith and believe God for something big, not a headache? Don't believe God for to heal my scalp, to heal my headache, and to heal. No. Take Tylenol for that. Oh, Lord, let me behave. I forgot. Praise the Lord. See, some of us this year, we're standing at the banks. We're standing right in the place of transition. But the only way we're going to get across, we must exercise our faith. And as we exercise our faith, we need to also realize that he's going to provide at the next level. So you may have to let go of the stuff that you used to have and trust him. Oh, my Lord. Okay. All right, I'm preaching to myself this morning. Now watch this here. This is how God is. We're still talking about the exercise your faith, and he will give you provision for the next level. I mean, some of you are afraid to take the next promotion because you think you don't have it. You think you're not qualified. You think that it will be overwhelming. But God will provide for you at the next level. Some of you are afraid to take on something that's insurmountable. But God will provide for you at the next level. I want to share this point real quick. Watch this. When one person leaves your life, God will send somebody else to covenant with you. That's how he is. You may lose a contract, but guess what? He'll send another one your way. You may lose your job, but 5, 6 other positions became available for you. He will provide. Exercise your faith for the next level. Number two. to experience breakthroughs and to maintain your momentum for this year, church, you must be strategic. And let me say it this way, you must be very strategic. Make every move count. Make every decision count. You must be strategic by being intentional with your actions. Let's look at Joshua 6 and 2. Real quick, Joshua 6 and 2. Then the Lord said to Joshua, see, I've delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and his fighting men. March around the city once with all the armed men. Do this for 6 days, and the passage go on and on. Joshua, he was directed and given instructions by the Lord. You all remember the story, the wall of Jericho? And Joshua's actions were very intentional. To maintain and to experience our breakthroughs for this season, we must be strategic. Being strategic is by being intentional with our actions. We must be strategic. Now watch this here. So Joshua was giving instructions of the Lord, from the Lord, during this time. In this new day, we must mimic Joshua. He did not deviate from the instruction. See, we're gonna run it. See, I'm about to mess it up. We're gonna run into some walls. We're gonna run into some things that is much bigger than us. But we must be intentional and strategic as we face difficulties. We just can't go at it full strength. We just can't go half-heartedly. We must pause for a moment and ask God, what must I do? Oh my. Because when we don't pause and ask God for what to do, then we run into this wall and we cannot break through. And we're asking God, where are you? I'm stuck. Don't you know there's not a party all year? There's going to be moments where we feel stuck. There's going to be moments feel like that we can't break through anything. Well, we're going to have to pause and ask God, okay, God, what must I do? I'm running into this thing. And God's saying to us that we must be strategic in our momentums. We must be strategic. I want to say this to you. You cannot break through without a plan or instruction from the Father. Be intentional and understand God's plan. Ask him. Ask the question to God. Be strategic. When you are in this new day, we're not going to do like we did in the old days. We just did everything and anything. And we came to the altar 11 times. Sorry. We came to the altar every Sunday. We wasn't strategic about our business at all. We just threw everything out there. But we're going to pause and say, okay, God, what do I need to do about this wall? I want to be strategic because every energy counts. Every movement counts. Every decision counts. Lord, what do I do? Do I fight? Do I jump over the wall? Do we shake the gates? What do we do? And I promise you, if you pause and be strategic about your movement this season, God will speak to you and tell you how to handle the difficult times. He will tell you how to handle the situation. But see, like, can I mess with the parents right now? So you get a phone call from the principal, and all of a sudden you're going ham because the teacher said that your boy threw a book in the classroom. Amen. Because your child didn't show up at school today. You see, I got to be careful. I forgot we have a large audience. So, but here's the deal. Instead of reacting like the general population react, not me, I react coolly, right? Instead of reacting crazy, going frantic, and this wall comes all of a sudden, we need to ask God, I need to be strategic about it. What's going on here? What do I need to do? Right. Do I jump over this wall? Do I get a bat and hit the wall? What do I do? Because it's a shame if we jump over the wall when God says just shout at it. if he say just shout at it, and we're trying to jump over it, we're trying to do all kinds of things except for following his instructions, not being strategic, then we're going to find ourselves frustrated. See, because I've talked to many of you, sometimes like, Apostle, I'm just frustrated. Maybe because we haven't been strategic. This year, we're going to break through and maintain the momentum by exercising our faith and also being strategic. Y'all with me this morning? Yes. So I want you to ask the question when you see this wall. Lord, what do I do? What do you want me to do with this wall? Let's be deliberate. Let's be thoughtful. Let's get things done according to purpose. Can I note this for you real quick? In this season, this moment, don't jump into everything, activities and events without calculating how it will impact your purpose. Be strategic. Let me say this again. Don't jump into activities, events. Don't say, yeah, man, I'll be there. Don't jump into anything this season without being very calculating and asking the question, how will this help my purpose? How will this help me reach my promised land? How would this help me fulfill God's calling on my life? I want you to reflect on that for a moment. Don't sign up for anything unless you are strategic and you're calculating with it. Ask that question. Will this slow me down? But see, if you don't be strategic about this movement, you're gonna have some weights and burdens that you can't shake off, and you're gonna be very slow in getting to your promised land. Or you may not even make it there, spiritually speaking, right? To your destiny or the things that He called you to do, if you don't slow down and ponder the matter. Yes. Ponder: should I get a second job? Right. Because this second job gonna have me coming to work on Wednesday. Do not meet Bible study. It's going to have me missing church. Oh, Lord. Let me talk to my internet audience. It's going to have me missing opportunity to serve God, fellowshipping with the saints. Should I sign up for this extracurricular activity? They want me to come, they want me to come on Thursday, and Thursday we do a praise and worship practice. Uh-oh. We must be strategic in this season. Be calculated. Don't just sign up for any and everything. Oh, I know Mama didn't want me to come and cook, but Mama, I can't cook on Sunday morning. I go to church. I cook Saturday night for you and you can warm it up in the morning. You know how it works. Oh, your family coming in town and, oh, don't you know we have a good program coming? Won't y'all come to church? Well, no, we'll get there Sunday. Well, I see y'all when we finish our program. Oh, man, I'm messing with somebody now. Now, we got to be calculating this season because the enemy is going to use any wall possible to stop us and block us from taking over the things that God's given us. It could be just through simple activities. Okay, let me move on. So the third thing, so number one was what? Exercise your faith. Number two, and number three, watch this, Joshua 7:4, and this is our landing point this morning. Joshua 7:4. I'll read some of it. So approximately 3,000 warriors were sent, but they were soundly defeated. Then it skips over to number 13. The men of Ai, get up, command the people to purify themselves in preparation for tomorrow, for this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Hidden among you, O Israel, are things set apart for the Lord. You will never defeat your enemy. Oh, let me say that again. You will never defeat your enemies until you remove these things from among you. Well, number three, I want to talk about this, and I want to kind of elaborate on just a little bit longer. Joshua, the story goes that Joshua sent out some fighting men to fight against Ai, the people in Ai, to take over. What he did, he underestimated the task. The Israelites initially lost the battle in Ai, and Joshua didn't understand why. And after all the promises, can you imagine, after all the encouragement, because reading the first chapter of Joshua, it's like, be encouraged. Yes. I'm going to be with you like I was with Moses. Yes. Can you imagine, after all the things that God had promised, he got to this particular stage of the crusade, or the campaign, should I say, and lost the battle. And I can imagine, if you go with me, I can imagine Joshua trying to figure out, God, why? Right. You allow us to cross over? I mean, we took down the wall. You made all these great promises, and a little simple battle like this took us out. Man. I wonder why. Can you imagine him thinking about this? Point number 3, when we find ourselves struggling and you can't see any momentum, we need to assess the situation. Number 3, assess the situation. Assess the situation. Oh, man. Listen, can I talk to you married folks? It's his marital counselor. You're on my couch. Listen, when you don't have to say any words in the house when you know that we're not flowing. You're not on the same sheet of music. You're not listening to the same radio station. You know, you're not on the same dial. You don't have to say anything. And men, come on, we got to grow up a little bit more. We got to be more discerning. We can't just keep trying to do the same old thing and expecting different results. We got to sit back and assess the situation. Oh, Lord. Messing with somebody. We got to sit back and assess the situation and figure out, okay, why we're not flowing? Why, we didn't say anything bad to each other, but it's just we're not flowing. Or maybe it's your time to apologize. But in this moment, we're not going to continue to try to put a square in a circle. Right. This is what I'm getting at. I'm trying to make clear for us is that in this season, we're not going to try to push a square in a circle. When we realize that the square is not going to the circle, we're going to stop. And we're going to make an assessment and try to figure out, okay, God, what's going on here? Why it's not fitting? Why it's not working out? I mean, come on now. I mean, if I'm in a relationship trying to figure out why we're always fussing and arguing, well, maybe we need to do an assessment. Let's take a pause right now. Take a time out. Why you got to chase down your business partner all the time? Oh, Lord, I'm messing with somebody. What, we're going to meet up at Starbucks, and every time there's an excuse, let's do an assessment. Try to figure out what's going on. Because I realize half of the battle is that we waste time trying to make things work when it's not even designed to work for us. We waste time with people that are not going on the same journey. Oh, God, I'm about to mess it up. We wasted time with people that are not called to go with us to the promised land. Don't you know the devil sends people in your life too? Oh, man. Just like God, the devil can send people in your life, and they don't have to do anything wrong or demonic to you, but they can be a stumbling block. Oh, my God. Because now you always try to help them. You got to pour into them, and they're draining you dry. Oh, my God. They're draining you dry. And the thing is, you're giving all you got to get nothing back. There's no reciprocation on the relationship. There's always one way. And then if you're not careful, that soul tie will give you a guilt trip where you can't move on because now you feel like you got to carry them now. You got to carry them now. I got to carry them now. Oh, Lord, I'm messing with some people now. You need to assess the situation. Why that when I have a crisis, you know where to be found? Why when I'm going through, you can't pick up the phone? Why when something is hurting me, you're not sensitive enough to pray for me? Oh, Lord. Why, when I need some help, you're not there to help me? But every time you have a need, I'm always there. Every time you have a need, I'm always there. Every time you call, I'm always there. Every time you text, I'm texting back. You need to assess the situation. Oh my God. You don't want to waste time with weight anymore. Man, we're in a new day. We're shifting. We're going places. Man, my bag needs to be light. I don't need to carry your burden. I got my burden trying to carry your burden. No. The devil is a liar. Oh, mother, I'm going somewhere. Tell you that I'm going somewhere. So every situation, I'm doing an assessment to one. I'm assessing this. You say you my friend and you don't talk to me? Oh my God. You say you my friend and you leave me out? Oh, maybe I'm not where I thought I was in your life. Maybe I'm not really your friend to you. Oh my God. Man, we need to assess the situation. Joshua pondered. I know he pondered. God, why did we lose? Because the Bible said he fasted. You know, he turned down his food, they fasted and asked the question. That Deacon Harvey, why did we lose? Then God gave him some instructions. And I want to say this to you, church, is that if your momentum stops, and here's the point I really want to make about assessing the situation. This year, oh man, we're excited, man, we're building muscles, we're running fast, we're jumping over gates and everything. But this year, if your momentum stops, hear me clearly. If your momentum stops, you need to immediately take an assessment and figure out what's going on. Oh no, don't play with it. I feel mean now about it. Don't play with it. If you know, we're excited, we feel good. We thank God for what he's doing, even some of us going through some trouble. But listen, spiritually speaking, we're in a good place. And if you feel your momentum stop, you need to immediately take an assessment. Don't toy with it. You know, you wake up, you don't feel good. And then maybe the next day you wake up, you don't feel good. I mean, nothing wrong with you. You just don't feel right in your soul, your spirit. No. You need to stop right there. Yeah. Don't play with it this year. See, you'll let it ride on for a week or two. Well, I just been funky. I've been in a bad mood. I was going to roll side of the bed. No. We're not playing with it this year. When I feel like I'm not well, I'm going to do an assessment. When my soul is not happy, God, I need to do an assessment. Woo, my God. Immediately, we stop and do an assessment. God, okay, all right, no, I can't lose my momentum. I know we're fasting now in this church, and I know we're hearing clear. Where things are happening well for us because we're spending time with the Lord. But when we feel ourselves cloudy again, when we feel ourselves heavy again, I'm not talking about church religious stuff. I'm talking about a relationship with our Father, hearing what the will of the Lord is for our life. When we're not communing with him like that again, we need to immediately take an assessment. Because one thing about backsliding, I'm not talking about the church backsliding thing, I'm talking about moving backwards from where you used to be. One thing about it, there's no effort required. It's almost just sitting in the boat in the seashore, and you just let that, before you know it, you drift. You don't feel like you're moving at all. You're like, I'm not deliberately running from God. But then when you look up, the shore is way on out of reach. We can't play in this moment. We have to immediately do an assessment. When it ain't right for you, you need to stop. But hold on, I got too many activities in my life right now. Let me stop. I can't add nothing. Let me get back in God's face and do an assessment, because there's an anointing on my life. I must guard. See, I don't know about you, man. I got to guard the anointing that's on my life. I need to guard it. I need to protect it, because I know that's the thing that's going to keep me, mother, when we go to the promised land. And I can't go there with I'm leaky. I'm rusty. You know, the glory is not on my life. And we're trying to walk into a glory in a place of God without the glory of God? No way. No, I'm going to do an assessment immediately. Stop the music. Stop the movie. Stop the show. Stop the traffic. I need to figure out why I'm not well. What's wrong with me? Tell your neighbor, I need to do an assessment. Okay, here we go. We're landing. Watch this here. You may experience setbacks. You may experience some setbacks, but in this season, learn to be open, honest, and deal with the issue. Joshua stopped, and they had to deal with the issue because God told them there were some issues in the camp. Joshua stopped and did an assessment to get the thing right with God. Because the Bible clearly states to him, he's told him is that you're not gonna defeat your enemy until you remove those things. Those things that's devoted to those idols, you're not gonna defeat the enemy until you remove those things. Church, personally, your journey, you gotta stop when things are not flowing, the blessings are not coming. You need to look and see if there's any sin in the camp. You just ask God, did I do something wrong? Is there something that I need to fix? Is there something I need to get rid of? And be honest, because we know, think about it. Go back to memory lane last year. You can see your spiritual ups and downs. You can see when you was on a spiritual high, and you can see yourself on a valley low. You can see yourself, and I'm not saying things around you, I'm saying internally, because you could be on a spiritual high and everything in your life is upside down. Or you could be in a valley low and everything is well with you. You got money in your pocket, you got a great job, the kids are doing well, but you can still be spiritually low. But what I'm saying to you, when you see yourself spiraling down and your momentum stops, do not toy with it. Do not play with it. You need to ask the question, Lord, is there something that I need to deal with? I need to make an assessment. There's something in my life, in my heart, that I need to deal with. Remember, when things are not moving according to His purpose for your life, assess the situation and make the adjustment. And in closing, in this new day, you will experience, again, breakthroughs and keep the momentum. You will not let the flames of your confession and the flames of your declaration burn out in February. Amen. You will not. I will not. I'm declaring this over your life now. You will not. Those that are listening and watching by internet, you will not let the flames of your confession burn out in February. You will keep the momentum and experience many, many breakthroughs. Yeah. And you say, Apostle, how's that? Well, let me share this with you. When you face the river, when you face the wall, and when you can't overcome your enemy in warfare, I encourage you to exercise your faith. Be strategic. And what? Assess the situation. Breakthroughs are yours. Momentum is your coat. Internet family, I thank you for joining us. I ask that you continue to tune in on Agape YouTube page. If you didn't subscribe, please subscribe and hit the like button. We're blessed that you're watching and tuning in. We ask that what we do will be a blessing to you. If it is, partake of it and also share with somebody else. Until next time, we love you and we'll see you again. God bless you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast. The contact information is on your screen.